The great ships appeared in the morning sky without warning. 7 of them, each as large as a small city, hanging over Earth like dark clouds. They blocked the sun in some places, casting long shadows across Seoul and other major cities around the world. Inside the lead ship, Admiral Rock stood tall. His blue skin shimmered under the bright lights of the command center. 6 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the blue and green planet below. "Primitive," he said. His voice was deep and rough, just as our reports showed. The bridge crew of the Talon ship worked quietly. They had done this many times before. Earth was just another world to add to their growing empire. "Their technology is at least 100 years behind ours," said Officer Lim, looking at her screen. "They have no real space weapons, no shields. They will be easy to control." Admiral Rock nodded. "Send down the first team. Lieutenant Dad will lead." Lieutenant Da was smaller than most Talons. He was from the science group, not a warrior, but he was smart and good with languages. The perfect choice to speak with the humans first. "Admiral, I have studied their broadcasts for months," Da said, his 4 fingers tapping nervously on his leg. "They are not as simple as we think. They have many different cultures, many languages." Rock waved a hand dismissively. "All primitive species are the same, Lieutenant. They will fear us. They will obey us. If not, we will show our power." Day wanted to say more but knew better. Admiral Rock never changed his mind once he decided something. The landing ship was small and fast. It carried Da and 5 others down to Earth, landing in an open area in Seoul. They expected panic, maybe even attacks. Instead, they found a calm welcome party waiting for them. "That is unusual," said Ta, a security officer. Her hand stayed near her weapon. "How did they know where we would land?" A small group of humans stood in a neat line. They wore formal clothes but carried no weapons. One man stepped forward. He was older, with gray in his hair, and he wore glasses and a simple dark suit. "Welcome to Earth," the man said in perfect Talon language. "I am Dr. June. We have been expecting you." Day's mouth fell open in shock. "You speak our language? How is this possible?" Dr. June smiled. "We have many skills you might find surprising, Lieutenant Da. You know my name." Da felt his skin change color slightly, showing his confusion. "We know many things," Dr. June said. "Please come with us. We have prepared a place to talk." The Talons followed the humans to a nearby building. Inside was a room with a large round table. The walls were covered with strange pictures and symbols. Day noticed one picture that showed beings that looked very much like Talons. The painting looked very old. "This image," Dai said, pointing. "When was it made?" "About 500 years ago," Dr. June said casually. "We have older ones too." On the ship, Admiral Rock watched through Daz's camera. This was not going as expected. Humans should have been afraid. They should have been confused by the aliens' appearance. "Lieutenant," Rock said through the communication link, "ask them how they knew we were coming." Day asked the question. Dr. June's answer was simple but made no sense. "It's in our stories," Dr. June said. "The old tales passed down for thousands of years. The star visitors with 6 eyes and blue skin would come. It was just a matter of time." Day looked around at the other humans in the room. None of them seemed afraid. Some were even smiling. "Admiral," Day said quietly into his communicator, "I think we may have made a mistake in our assessment of these humans." Above them, the 6 other massive Talon ships moved into position around the Earth, ready to begin the conquest of what they had believed was a helpless world. They had no idea what was waiting for them. 3 days after the first meeting, the Talons were busy. Small scout ships flew over every major city on Earth. They took pictures, made maps, and counted weapons. Admiral Rock watched all this from his command room. "Report," he ordered. Officer Lim tapped her screen. "Our scouts have checked all major military bases. The humans have simple weapons. No energy shields, no space guns, just basic rockets and planes. Good, Rock nodded. And their leaders? Most are scared, said another officer. They want to talk. A few want to fight, but they don't have the weapons to hurt us. Rock smiled with all three of his mouths. Then we will win easily. Down on Earth, Lieutenant Da was having a different experience. He sat in a room with Dr. June, looking at old books. This is from 1200 years ago, Dr. June said, pointing to a drawing. It showed a being with 6 eyes and blue skin. And this story tells of sky people who could move things without touching them. Day felt uncomfortable. Talons could indeed move small objects with their mind powers. How could humans from long ago know this? It must be just a story, Daz said. A lucky guess. Perhaps, Dr. June smiled. But there are many such lucky guesses in our old stories. The door opened, and a woman walked in. She was tall and wore a simple uniform with stars on the shoulder. Captain Han, Dr. June said. Please meet Lieutenant Da. Captain Han nodded. The scout ships have been over my base 3 times today. Your admiral must be very interested in our little weapons. Day was surprised by her calm voice. Most military leaders from other planets begged for mercy when the Talons came. This human seemed almost amused. Our weapons are much stronger than yours, Day said carefully. Are they? Captain Han asked. Her eyes showed no fear. We will see. After she left, Day turned to Dr. June. Why is she not afraid? Your weapons cannot hurt our ships. Dr. June opened another old book. Lieutenant, let me show you something interesting. This is a Korean folk story from 700 years ago. It tells of magical guardians who protected our land from sky demons. Day read the story. It told of humans who could call fire with their hands and move faster than the eye could see. It was just a silly tale, but something about it made Day's skin feel cold. Back on the main ship, Admiral Rock called a meeting. Tomorrow we show our strength, he said. We will demand that all humans give up their weapons and accept our rule. If they refuse, we destroy one small city as an example. Sir, one officer said, Lieutenant Daz reports say the humans seem strangely calm. Some even act like they expected us. Maybe we should learn more first. Rock slammed his hand on the table. They are primitive. Their calm is just confusion. They don't understand what's happening. Later that day, Dai and Dr. June walked in a garden. A young woman joined them. This is my assistant, Mina, Dr. June said. She studies old stories too. Mina bowed slightly. I have a question, Lieutenant. In your fleet, do you have the ship called the Thunder Spear? Day froze. The Thunder Spear was their largest weapon ship. Its name had never been shared with humans. How do you know that name? He asked. Mina smiled. It's in a poem from 800 years ago. It says the Thunder Spear comes from the stars, but breaks in the hands of the Earth children. That night, Da couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the old stories and Captain Han's confident smile. Something was very wrong. The humans knew too much. They were too ready. When morning came, Admiral Rock's voice boomed through all human communication systems. People of Earth, you have 48 hours to surrender your weapons and accept Talon rule. If you refuse, we will show you our power. In her military base, Captain Han heard the message and pressed a button on her desk. It's time, she said to someone on the other end. Activate the network. All across Earth, hidden deep underground, ancient machines began to hum with power for the first time in thousands of years. The message from Admiral Rock had been playing for 6 hours on all screens across Earth. 42 hours remained until the deadline. But the streets were not filled with panic. People went to work. Children played in parks. It was as if the giant ships in the sky were just another weather event. I don't understand, Dad said as he walked with Dr. June through a busy market in Seoul. Why aren't people running? Hiding. Dr. June bought a small cake from a street vendor and offered half to Da. Why should they? The end is not coming. Day took the cake, but didn't eat it. Admiral Rock doesn't make empty threats. He has destroyed worlds before. Dr. June smiled. This world is different. Mena joined them, carrying a small bag. The car is ready, Doctor. We should go now if we want to reach the temple before dark. They drove for 2 hours, leaving the city behind. The road wound up into mountains, past small villages and farms. Finally, they stopped at the foot of a stone stairway that climbed up the mountainside. At the top stood an old temple with curved red roofs. What is this place? Dai asked as they climbed the stairs. The Temple of the Star Guardians, Minna said. It's over 1,200 years old. Inside, the temple was cool and dark. Candles burned in corners. The walls were covered with paintings. Dai stopped, his 6 eyes all focusing on one wall. The painting showed blue-skinned beings with 6 eyes. They came from the sky in ships. But then it showed humans with light coming from their hands. The blue beings were falling back. This can't be real, Dai whispered. This must have been painted recently. Touch it, Dr. Jun said. Feel how old the paint is. Dai ran his fingers over the rough surface. The paint was cracked with age. This was no new creation. An old man appeared from a side room. He walked with a wooden cane, but his back was straight, and his eyes were sharp. Welcome, Star Child, the old man said to Dai. I am Elder Son. We have waited many years for your return. Return. Dai felt his skin color changing to show his confusion. I've never been here before. Not you personally, Elder Son said, but your kind, the Talons. Elder Son led them to a small room with a round table. On it sat a strange object. It looked like a metal ball with symbols carved into it. This was left here 5,000 years ago, Elder Son said, by the first Talons who came to Earth. Dai's communicator beeped. It was Admiral Rock. Lieutenant, return to the ship immediately. The humans are activating something across their planet. We're picking up energy readings we don't understand. Dai looked at the 3 humans. They didn't seem surprised by this news. What's happening? He asked them. Elder Son picked up the metal ball. It began to glow with a soft blue light. Not all stories are fiction, Lieutenant Dai, the old man said. Some are memories of what was, or predictions of what will be. You must choose, Minna added. Return to your ship and be part of what comes next, or stay here and learn the truth. Dai's mind raced. Everything he had seen in the past days went against what he had been taught. Humans should be primitive and afraid. Instead, they seemed to know more about Talons than the Talons knew about themselves. Lieutenant, Admiral Rock's voice came again. That's an order. Return now. Dr. June put a hand on Dai's shoulder. The attack your Admiral plans will fail. Many Talons will die needlessly. Is that what you want? How do you know about the attack? Dai asked. Elder Son smiled. The same way we knew you would come. The same way we know what will happen when your ships try to fire their weapons in Earth's atmosphere. And what will happen? Dai asked. They will fail, Elder Son said simply. And then the real story begins. Dai looked at his communicator, then at the ancient paintings on the wall. He made his decision. Admiral, he said into the device, I need more time. There's something you need to know before you attack. Admiral Rock paced on the bridge of his ship. The time limit was almost up. 48 hours had passed, and humans had not surrendered. Not a single weapon had been handed over. Not one leader had come to bow before him. They ignore our demands, he growled. They will learn respect through fear. On the main screen, a map showed a small coastal city in Korea. This city will be our example, Rock said. Small enough that destroying it won't damage the planet too much, but big enough to show our power. Officer Lim looked worried. Admiral, Lieutenant Dai has not returned. His last message said there was important information. Dai has been with the humans too long. Rock cut her off. He's confused. Prepare the main weapons. Down on Earth, in the temple, Dai watched through a window as the great Talon ship moved into position above the distant city. Dr. June, Mina, and elder son stood calmly beside him. You must stop this, Dai begged them. Many people will die. Please surrender and save them. Mina touched his arm gently. No one will die today, Lieutenant. Not humans, and hopefully not Talons either. Elder Son held the glowing metal ball from the temple. The network is fully active now. It has been waiting for this moment for thousands of years. Dai's communicator came to life. It was Officer Lim, her voice filled with panic. Lieutenant, something is wrong. Our weapons won't charge. None of them. The energy systems are failing. On the main Talon ship, alarms blared. Red lights flashed on control panels. The great weapon that could destroy a city would not fire. What is happening? Admiral Rock shouted. Fix it now. Officer Lim worked frantically at her screen. Sir, there's an energy field around the planet. It's blocking our weapon systems. I've never seen anything like it. Rock slammed his fist on a panel. Launch fighters. Used physical weapons if energy weapons won't work. Smaller Talon ships shot out from the mothership. They dove toward Earth, carrying bombs and missiles. But as they entered the lower atmosphere, their engines sputtered and died. The ships dropped like stones. At the last moment, something strange happened. The falling ships slowed down. They floated gently to the ground, as if caught by invisible hands. In the temple, Dai watched all this through his communicator screen. He turned to the humans, his 6 eyes wide with shock. How is this possible? Captain Han walked into the room. She had not been there a moment before. She carried one of the fallen Talon fighters in her hand. It was small now, like a toy. Your pilots are safe, she said, placing the tiny ship on the table. We have no wish to harm them. Dai stared at the ship. It was impossible. The fighter was 20 meters long. Now it was the size of his hand. What are you? He whispered. Dr. June smiled. We are human, but perhaps not the kind of human you expected to find. Elder Son tapped his cane on the floor. The wood changed, flowing like water, then hardening into a staff made of shining metal. For thousands of years, we hid our true nature, the old man said. We waited, knowing this day would come. Captain Han pulled out a small device. On its screen, Dai could see Talon ships all around the world, hanging harmless in the sky. We detected your fleet approaching 20 years ago, she said. That gave us time to wake the old systems and prepare our people. Mina held out her hand. A small flame danced on her palm, but it did not burn her skin. The stories were not just stories, she said. They were instructions, ways to remember our powers until we needed them again. Dai sank into a chair. Everything he believed about humans was wrong. They were not primitive. They were something else entirely. Up in his ship, Admiral Rock faced the truth as well. Reports came in from around the planet. All weapons had failed. Some ships had been captured. And now something new was happening. Humans were rising into the air, flying without machines, approaching the Talon ships. Some glowed with light. Others seemed to disappear and reappear in different places. Admiral, Officer Lim said quietly, I think we should talk to them now. For the first time in his long career, Admiral Rock felt afraid. The temple room was quiet now. Dai sat with the humans, trying to understand what he had seen. Outside, the sun was setting. The great Talon ships hung in the sky, no longer threatening but simply waiting. I don't understand, Dai said. Our scans showed no advanced technology on Earth. No special powers. Nothing but simple machines and normal humans. Dr. June opened an old book. That's because we hid everything. For thousands of years, we kept our true nature secret. On the pages were drawings of humans doing impossible things, moving objects without touching them, creating fire from nothing, making themselves as light as air or as heavy as mountains. These are not just stories, Minna said. They are teaching tools, ways to remember what we can do. Elder Sun placed the metal ball on the table. It spun slowly, glowing blue. This is one of the keys, he said, left by the teachers long ago. When the right person touches it, it shares knowledge. Day looked at Captain Han. And you, what can you do? Captain Han smiled. She touched the table. It changed shape, growing taller, then shorter, then back to normal. I can change the nature of things, she said. Size, shape, sometimes even what they are made of. That's how you made our fighter ships small, Day realized. Yes, Captain Han nodded. We didn't want to hurt your pilots. On his ship, Admiral Rock was having a difficult meeting with his officers. The screen showed humans flying around their ships. Some humans even walked on the hulls, touching the metal, making parts of it transparent so they could look inside. How is this possible? Rock demanded. How did we miss this? Officer Lim checked her data. Sir, there's something strange. When we scanned Earth from far away, we saw nothing unusual. But now that we're here, our sensors show energy patterns everywhere. It's like the planet itself was hiding. Rock's communicator beeped. It was Da. Admiral, Da said, the humans want to talk. They say they have no wish to fight. They just want us to listen. Back in the temple, Dad watched as Elder Sun walked to a wall and pressed his hand against it. The wall slid open, revealing a hidden room. Inside was a large stone table covered with strange symbols. This is a star map, Elder Sun explained, made 5,000 years ago. Day looked at it closely. The map showed not just Earth's solar system, but hundreds of others, including the Talon homeworlds. How did you make this? He asked. Humans couldn't travel to these stars 5,000 years ago. We didn't make it, Dr. June said. The teachers did. They came to Earth and shared their knowledge with certain humans. They left the keys and taught our ancestors how to use the powers inside all humans. Minna held out her hand. A small ball of light formed above her palm. The ability to control energy is in all humans, she said, but most forgot how to use it. Only those who kept the old ways remembered. Who were these teachers? Dai asked. Elder Sun touched the star map. A section lit up, showing the distant star system. They came from here, he said, a place very far away. They looked much like us, but they could do even more amazing things. Day felt his heart beating faster. The star Elder Sun pointed to was one that Talons knew well. That's not possible, he whispered. That's the ancient home, the place our oldest stories say the first Talons came from. Captain Han nodded. Yes, the teachers had many names on Earth. In Korea, we called them the Star Guardians. In other places, they had different names. But they were all the same beings. Are you saying the teachers were Talons? Dai asked, his voice shaking. Not exactly like you, Dr. Jun said. But yes, they were your ancestors. From a time when Talons were more advanced, before something happened that made them lose their way. Day sat back, his mind spinning with this news. If the humans were telling the truth, then everything the Talons believed about themselves, about their history, was wrong. I need to tell Admiral Rock, he said. He needs to know. Elder Sun nodded. Yes, it is time for both our peoples to remember the truth. Admiral Rock did not believe what he was hearing. He stood in the temple, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly. Around him stood his officers, all looking just as confused. This is a trick, Rock said. Humans cannot have powers, and they cannot know about our ancient home. Elder Sun stepped forward. In his hands was an old metal box. He opened it carefully. Inside was a small crystal that glowed with soft blue light. This is a memory crystal, Elder Sun said, left by the teachers. It can show you the truth. Rock laughed. A glowing rock? You expect me to believe this proves anything? Dr. Jones spoke calmly. Admiral, your ships cannot use their weapons here. Your scans didn't see our true nature until you were close. Don't you wonder why? Rock had no answer. These things were true, and they made no sense. Place your hand on the crystal, Elder Sun said. See for yourself. After a moment of hesitation, Rock reached out. His blue fingers touched the crystal. Instantly, images filled his mind. He saw tall beings that looked like ancient Talons. They walked among humans, teaching them, showing them how to use powers hidden in their bodies. Impossible, Rock whispered, but he could not deny what he was seeing. The crystal showed more. A great disaster in space. The teachers saying they must leave but would return one day. Humans promising to keep the knowledge safe. Rock pulled his hand away, shaking. If this is true, why didn't we know? Why have we forgotten our own past? Captain Han had joined them. The teachers told our ancestors that the Talons would face a dark time, that they would lose their way and forget their true nature. But one day they would return to Earth, and we would help them remember. Outside the temple, more strange things were happening. Talon soldiers who had tried to attack were being stopped, not by weapons, but by humans who moved faster than eyes could follow. Some humans lifted heavy objects with their minds. Others seemed to know exactly what the Talons would do before they did it. Officer Lim rushed into the temple. Admiral, our ground forces can't advance. The humans, they're too strong. They know our moves before we make them. Muna smiled. Some of us can see short distances into the future. Others can read thoughts. We all have different gifts. Day studied the ancient star map again. You said the teachers were our ancestors, but more advanced than we are now. How is that possible? Dr. June pulled out another old book. According to our stories, the Talons once had a great civilization. They could do amazing things, but there was a terrible war. Many died. Much knowledge was lost. After that, Elder Sun continued. Some Talons wanted to start again, to rebuild their knowledge. They came to Earth and found humans. They saw potential in us. They taught us how to use the powers all living beings have, but most never learn to use. Rock sat down heavily. Our oldest stories do speak of a great disaster, of knowledge lost, but nothing about Earth or humans. That part was forgotten, Captain Han said, or perhaps hidden. Maybe some Talons didn't want others to know about us. Mina brought a cup of tea to Rock. The teachers said when you returned, it would be as conquerors. But once you learned the truth, you would become students again. Rock looked at the tea, then at the humans. If you have these powers, why didn't you use them before? Why hide? Dr. June smiled gently. We were waiting. The teachers said we should only reveal ourselves when the time was right, when you came back to Earth. And now? Rock asked. Now we can share what we know, Elder Sun said. The knowledge the teachers left with us. The secrets of powers your people have forgotten. Day touched the crystal. He saw images of Talons and humans working together, building great things, exploring space side by side. Is this the future? He asked. It could be, Dr. June said, if we choose to make it so. Rock stood up. His face showed he had made a decision. I need to speak with my fleet, he said. They need to know what I've learned here. For the first time since arriving on Earth, Admiral Rock understood. The Talons had not come to conquer a primitive world. They had come home, to a place where part of their lost history waited to be remembered. 3 days had passed since Admiral Rock learned the truth. The Talon ships still hung in Earth's sky, but now they were not there to threaten. They watched and waited. On the main ship, Rock met with his officers. The mood was very different now. All Talon ships report the same thing. Officer Lim said, humans with strange powers are appearing everywhere. Some can fly. Some can move things with their minds. Some can heal with a touch. And all say the same thing, another officer added, that they have been waiting for us, that they want to share knowledge. not fight. Rock nodded slowly. It seems everything we believed about humans was wrong. Down on Earth, more amazing things were happening. All around the world, people who had kept old traditions, old stories, were now showing what those stories really meant. In the temple, Dai watched as Mina placed her hands on a broken piece of technology from a Talon ship. Her fingers glowed softly. The broken parts moved, coming back together like they had never been damaged. "How did you do that?" Dai asked in wonder. "I can see how things should be," Mina explained, "and I can help them become that way again." Dr. June entered the room with Captain Han. They brought news. "More humans are awakening to their abilities," Dr. June said. "People who didn't know they had these powers are discovering them now. The presence of the Talon ships has triggered something," Captain Han explained, "like a key turning in a lock." Day thought about this. The teachers must have left something in human bodies, something that would wake up when Talons returned. "Yes," Elder Sun said, walking into the room with his metal staff. "The teachers changed some humans long ago. These changes passed down through families. Many people today carry these special abilities in their blood but don't know it." Captain Han pulled out a small device and showed it to Da. On the screen, he could see people all over the world doing amazing things. A woman in Africa making plants grow in seconds. A man in Russia lifting a fallen tree with his mind to save trapped animals. Children in Brazil knowing exactly what others were thinking. "Not all humans have these gifts," Captain Han said. "Only those who carry the blood of the ones the teachers changed. About 1 in every 100 people." "But that's millions of humans," Da said. "Yes," Dr. June nodded. "And now, they are all waking up." Admiral Rock joined them at the temple. He had decided to see more of Earth and learn directly from the humans. "We've analyzed the energy field around your planet," Rock said. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen. It blocks our weapons but allows everything else to work normally." Elder Sun smiled. "The shield was the first thing the teachers helped us build. It has been waiting, dormant, for thousands of years. Can all these humans with powers control them?" Rock asked, looking concerned. "What if they use them to harm each other?" "The abilities don't work that way," Mina explained. "The teachers built in limits. The powers can't be used to hurt innocent people. If someone tries, the power simply doesn't work." Dr. June opened another old book. "There are many types of gifts. Some can heal, some can build, some can see the future or the past, some can talk to animals or plants. Each person has different abilities." Day touched one of the old books, "And all this knowledge has been hidden in stories. In what you call folklore." "Yes," Captain Han said. "Hidden in plain sight. Stories of gods and heroes, of magic and miracles. All of them were really about the gifts the teachers left with us." Rock looked troubled. "My people have forgotten so much. We lost our way. We became conquerors when once we were teachers." Elder Sun put a hand on Rock's shoulder. "That is why this meeting was meant to happen. Not so we could fight, but so both our peoples could remember what was lost." Outside, more Talons were coming down from their ships. Not as invaders now, but as visitors eager to learn. And all across Earth, more humans were discovering the truth about the stories they had grown up with. The world was changing, awakening to what it had always been beneath the surface. Not all Talons accepted the new truth. On the biggest ship of the fleet, Commander Jin had locked himself in the weapon control room. He had taken control of the ship's main weapon, the Planet Breaker. This weapon could destroy an entire world by breaking apart its core. "Admiral Rock has been tricked by the humans," Jin told his loyal officers. "These powers must be some kind of trick. Humans cannot be connected to our past." Officer Mun, Jin's second in command, nodded. "The humans have done something to the Admiral's mind. We must complete our mission. We must show our strength." On Earth, alarms sounded in the temple. Captain Han rushed in with a small device. "The main Talon ship is powering up its Planet Breaker," she said. "Someone is trying to use it against Earth." Admiral Rock's eyes widened. That's impossible. I ordered all weapons to be shut down. Day checked his own device. It's Commander Jin. He's locked himself in the weapon control room with some loyal officers. Can you stop it? Dr. June asked Rock. The planet breaker cannot be stopped once it starts charging, Rock said, his voice filled with worry. It will fire in 20 minutes. It will destroy your whole planet. Elder Sun stood up straight, no longer looking like an old man. His eyes were bright with energy. Then we must go to the ship and stop it ourselves, he said. Minna nodded. I can help. I understand how your technology works now. I'll come too, Captain Han said. My ability to change things might be useful. Rock shook his head. You don't understand. The weapon control room is protected by energy fields. Nothing can get through them. Dr. June smiled. We'll see about that. Minutes later, they stood in a field outside the temple. Elder Sun raised his metal staff. The air around them started to shimmer. Hold on to each other, he said. They all joined hands, forming a circle. Elder Sun closed his eyes. The air bent around them. There was a flash of light. Suddenly, they were on the Talon ship in a long hallway. Talon officers stared at them in shock. How did we get here? Dai asked, looking around. This is impossible. Distance is just an idea. Elder Sun said. Ideas can be changed if you know how. They ran through the ship, following Rock to the weapon control room. A glowing red barrier blocked the door. This is the energy field, Rock said. Nothing can pass through it. Captain Han stepped forward. She put her hands on the field. Her fingers glowed white. The red energy began to change color, becoming blue, then clear, then vanishing completely. Energy is just another form of matter, she said. And I can change matter. They burst into the control room. Commander Jin and his officers spun around, surprised. Stop, Jin shouted. Stay back. On a large screen, they could see the planet breaker weapon charging. It was already at 80%. Jin, shut it down now, Rock ordered. Never, Jin replied. Humans are lying to you, Admiral. They're using tricks to fool us. Mena walked forward slowly. No tricks, Commander. Just knowledge your people once shared with mine. Jin pulled out a weapon. Stay back, or I'll shoot. Elder Sun didn't stop walking. Jin fired his weapon. The energy blast flew toward Elder Sun, but then curved away, hitting the wall instead. Violence against others is not the way of the true Talons, Elder Sun said. The teachers knew this. That's why they left Earth. They were running from others like you who had forgotten the right path. The planet breaker reached 95%. It's too late to shut it down now, Jin said with a cruel smile. Earth will be destroyed, and we'll see if these human powers are real. Mena reached the main control panel. She placed her hands on it. Her fingers sank into the metal as if it were water. What are you doing? Jin demanded. I'm talking to your ship, Minna said softly, reminding it of what it once was. The countdown stopped at 99%. The screen flickered. New symbols appeared, ancient Talon writing that even Rock didn't recognize. Those are the words of the first Talons, Elder Sun said. The teachers. The planet breaker powered down. The weapon retracted into the ship. Jin fell to his knees. How? That's impossible. Dr. Jun helped Jin to his feet. Not impossible, just forgotten. Like much of your people's true history, the confrontation was over. Earth was safe, and the Talons had seen even more proof of what humans could do. 1 month had passed since the confrontation on the Talon ship. The world had changed in ways no one could have imagined before the aliens arrived. In Seoul, a new building stood where there had been an empty field. It was unlike any building on Earth, with smooth curved walls that seemed to glow from within. This was the new learning center, where Talons and humans shared knowledge. Day walked through its main hall. He no longer wore his Talon uniform. Instead, He dressed in simple Earth clothes. He had decided to stay on the planet as the main link between the two peoples. "Are you ready for the ceremony?" Minna asked, joining him. She carried a small box made of wood and metal. "I think so," Day said, "though I'm still not sure why Admiral Rock chose me for this honor." Minna smiled. "Because you were the first to listen, the first to see the truth." They entered a large round room. Hundreds of people were there, both humans and Talons. In the center stood a table with the ancient metal ball from the temple. Admiral Rock stood on one side of the table. Dr. June, Captain Han, and Elder Sun stood on the other side. They all looked solemn but happy. "Today marks a new beginning," Rock said as Dai and Minna joined them. "For thousands of years, our peoples have been separated. Today, we start to rebuild what was lost." Elder Sun stepped forward. "The teachers knew this day would come. They left us the knowledge to share with you when you returned." Dr. June opened an old book. They wrote that the Talons would one day lose their way, that they would forget they were once explorers and teachers, not conquerors, that a great darkness would come to their society. "They were right," Rock said sadly. "For many years, we have fought and taken, not built and shared. We forgot our true purpose." Captain Han nodded. "But they also wrote that when the Talons returned to Earth, they would find what they had lost. That together, our peoples would rebuild something greater than either had alone." Mina opened the box she carried. Inside was a crystal like the one Elder Sun had shown them, but larger. "This is the great memory," Elder Sun explained. "The complete history of the teachers and what they shared with us. It contains knowledge that both our peoples have forgotten." Rock looked at the crystal with wonder. "With this, we can learn who we truly were, who we can be again." "Not just that," Dr. June added. "The teachers left plans for ships that could travel faster than any you have now, ways to heal any sickness, ways to grow food in any place, all the things that matter most." Day stepped forward. "Why did they choose humans? Why leave all this with your people?" Elder Sun smiled. "They said humans had something special, a balance of heart and mind that the Talons had lost. They hoped that by the time you returned, we would have kept that balance." "And have you?" Rock asked. "Not always," Captain Han admitted. "We've had our dark times too. But we remembered the stories. We kept the knowledge safe." Outside the learning center, people gathered to watch on big screens. All around the world, humans and Talons came together. Some humans showed their new abilities, helping to build or heal or grow things. Talon technology mixed with human creativity to solve old problems. "What happens now?" Dai asked. "Now we learn from each other," Minna said. "The teachers hoped that together we would be better than either of us alone." Rock placed his hand on the great memory crystal. It began to glow brightly. "I thought we came to conquer Earth," he said. "Instead, we found our past, and perhaps our future." Dr. June placed his hand next to Rock's. "The old stories were right all along. Heroes walk among us. Not just humans with special powers, but anyone who chooses to build rather than destroy, to help rather than harm." The crystal's light spread, filling the room. In that light, it was hard to see the differences between humans and Talons. They were just people, standing together, ready to begin a new chapter in their shared story. Day looked at Mina. "I think I'll stay on Earth. There's so much to learn." Mina smiled. "And we have so much to show you." High above, the Talon ships still hung in the sky. But now, they were not a threat. They were a promise of journeys to come, when humans and Talons would travel the stars together, as the teachers had always hoped they would. The end.